Without a solid motivation letter, you won't be able to reach your academic nor professional goals. And it is a hard pill to swallow that I had to understand. It is nothing but the harsh truth. It took me 1 year to finally understand what this letter composes. And in this video, I'll be sharing with you 7 key elements that finally did the trick for me, up to the point where I've been able to obtain over 3 scholarships in my career. I'm currently an international student in France. Before I proceed into those 7, let me share to you what a motivation letter is and why it's so important. The first thing is that it is a letter where you basically tell to the selection committee of that scholarship program or the university itself who you are, what you're looking to do. It is, think of it like a flight ticket to your next plane that you'll be aboarding, or the next concert ticket that you want to see with your friends. It is the most important document of a scholarship. You tell the university and that scholarship grantor who you are, what you're looking to do with that program, and what you want to do once you finish your studies. Why is it so important? It allows you to differentiate you from the rest of the candidates who are also looking to study abroad, who are also dreaming at the same time of your scholarship. And this is why scholarships are very competitive, because it's a lot of really talented multilingual students who are looking to grow their knowledge. Without further ado, the first advice that I can give you is for you to be prepared with time, because it will allow you to have a more solid application overall than the candidate who try to prepare their application the night before the deadline. It will also allow you to write more than 1 motivation letter a year. Ideally, you should aim to write 1 every month, so that way in an education year, you'll be writing 12 motivation letters. If you apply to 12 scholarships, you have a way higher chance than a candidate who wrote down 3 and applied for only 3 of those. You're basically amplifying your chances when you do this. And ideally, you should aim to prepare with 3 months of anticipation. I think it's a good amount of time. Of course, by that, ideally, you already have the documentation besides the motivation letter, such as the TOEFL or your degree translated to the English language, or your transcripts, which are your grades translated from your mother tongue to that target language that you're aiming to study. So make sure you have all that, so that when you write your motivation letter, you'll be dedicating the time fully to that document in a specific. The second advice is similar to this one because it comes with time. And I'm going to go a little bit cliche here, but the truth is Rome wasn't built in 1 day. The Roman Empire, it took hundreds of years to be constructed and to give us the beautiful city of Rome and in general, the beautiful country of Italy. Well, that's how motivation letters work as well. And by the way, let me tell you, this is probably the reason why you're feeling overwhelmed about your application. You feel like you have to write so many things in a motivation letter and that you don't take it into action. But if you start writing the first paragraph and the first and last paragraph, the introduction and conclusion one, respectively, are the only ones that you can use as a template for all your application, you can at least try writing that one. Start with the introduction one, write it. And once you did that, you can actually go ahead and do something else in your daily activities. You can go to a gym, you can talk to a friend, and then the next day come back and write your first paragraph. That's going to allow you to have a clearer mind and be able to organize your thoughts. The third advice that I can give you is for you to exemplify your story. And by exemplifying your story, I mean adding little anecdotes to your application, to your motivation letter in general. By that, you can actually tell them what skills you have learned in the process of all that experience that you've had. It can be volunteering, job, or performer studies, and let them know what you developed and how that shaped you to the professional, to the human being that you are today, since it will allow them to recognize you as a human being instead of another candidate or like a robot who did his application through artificial intelligence. The fourth key element that worked for me and an advice that I can give you to study abroad is to connect your experience with what you'll study. You have two anchors when it comes to studying abroad, which is your former studies and your past experience, either working or volunteering or any experience in your life that you had. Your future studies in that scholarship that you're looking to obtain should have a coherency. Coherency is key here. There has to be some sort of connection. So let's say if you study a bachelor's degree and you're applying to a master's degree, well, that bachelor's was in psychology. Ideally, you should aim to study a master's degree in children's psychology, your specialization. Or maybe your bachelor wasn't in that area, but your work experience was at a clinic, then you can generally also do it and go ahead and apply for a children psychology master's degree. What you can do is, for instance, is apply for a astronomy scholarship when your past experience is not related to that. The fifth advice that I can give you is to make it specific. Let me give you this scenario where you go on a date with someone or with your friends. It doesn't even have to be at a romantic level. But us human beings, we normally tend to love those one who heard just the small details, who remember our names, what we told them last week. Maybe our pet are sick and we let them know what happened with them, and then they ask us about our pets. That is something amazing. It feels nice, right? This is how it works with universities and scholarship programs. So for that, you can actually do your research about that university, about that program in a specific, and add some classes, some courses that you'll be taking and mention them. You don't have to mention the whole pensum, but ideally you should aim to mention 2 or 3, as well as a professor that can be your master thesis supervisor. That's going to realize for that scholarship program or that university that you're not a generic candidate or a candidate who wrote his application with the help of AI, but that actually did his research, and that motivation letter is directed to them, that is not going to other universities. The sixth advice that I can give you is to illustrate results. So not only add the experience that you have or the formal education that you did learn, but actually show it with statistics, with numbers, time frames. So for instance, instead of saying that you worked at a call center, no, say that you contributed to a company at a customer service department with metrics of 93%, and that within 12 months you were promoted to a supervisor role that eventually allow you to develop leadership skills and working under stress. That's going to show them that you're a candidate whose results speaks for themselves, that you go beyond the mile, and that you actually have proof of what you have accomplished. And the seventh and last advice that I can give you is, once you wrote it down, ask for a feedback. But make sure that you ask for feedback to a professor or someone who has actually studied abroad or earned a scholarship as well. Or you can also contact me. I'll let you the link in the description, and we can book a one-on-one call so that I can give you personalized coaching. This trick that helped me actually earn a scholarship. The thing with recommendations letters is that universities want to see that they're not biased. And sometimes our family members and friends can have a little bit of a biased opinion towards us. In that case, it's better for you to contact someone who actually knows you. And another thing that's tempting is that you'll be looking to contact the university's director or your career's master program director, and they might know you that well. And that's why it's important for you to ask recommendation letters to professors that actually know you. And with this, Being said, I believe that you'll be able to achieve your scholarships. Earning a scholarship and writing a motivation letter, like I said, is not difficult, but it is simple. I wouldn't say it's easy either, but it's simple. That's the word that I would describe it. You just have to write down all your thoughts, what you have accomplished in a nice, organized way in a letter and send it to universities so that you can actually earn a fulfilling scholarships. They're not easy to do. If it was easy, scholarships wouldn't have the value that they have. Studying abroad in first world countries wouldn't have the value of it. So that's why it's important that you know how to write a good motivation letter. Remember, the better the award, the prize is, the harder the path is. And motivation letters, in order to study abroad, are no exception. Please check this video where I spoke about my journey of applying to the Hungaricum Stipendium Scholarship in Hungary, where I got it last year and I had the opportunity to choose whether I wanted to study there or not. See you on the next one.